Good morning, church, and all my friends. I hope that this is a good day for you. I hope things are going well for you. Blessed be the name of our Lord God, Jesus Christ. This morning, because we have had COVID exposure in our church, I decided to not hold services because almost everyone in the church was exposed to COVID. Mom got COVID. Many of the people in church went to see her in the hospital. And though we have so far, everybody has come out negative, just to be careful in these trying times when the virus is spreading so rapidly and we have many elderly. We decided that it would be better today to not attend in person. So I've prepared a little talk for you, a little devotion, not a service, not a live service, but just a little heart to heart with you on a subject that was kind of a big deal in my home growing up, and I might have a different point of view than you do, and that's okay. But because sometimes in different families, different things are emphasized, and different things seem more important to one father or mother than another in another family. But this was a big deal in my family, and so I thought that I would share it with you. At least it was a big deal with my parents towards me. I don't know about my sisters. Maybe they were worried more about me. But the issue is telling the truth and what Jesus said about that. And we've hit on it before, but I want to try to bring maybe a little bit new perspective to it this morning and just share from my heart. We're going to be in Matthew chapter 5, verse 34, where Jesus is speaking in the Sermon on the Mount, and he's describing so many different things in this message. He touches on all kinds of things that would affect our hearts, our culture we live in, the people we deal with. He's trying to teach us, this is God's way. These are the things that are important for you to know, and ways for you to live, and beliefs to hold, and how you treat other people. It was about living godly, about being a good citizen, about caring for one another, affecting your culture, and making a difference. And so when we come to the subject of telling the truth, I think that a lot of us would say that in our lifetimes, we've seen a degradation of the truth in our culture. There's a lot of people aren't telling the truth. We just seem to have exposure all the time to people who have lied about different things in our country and politics and legal dealings and companies, and your next door neighbor. There's just a lot of lying going on, unfortunately. And Jesus spoke to this and had a concept that I believe he was trying to simplify and make clear to us the way we ought to think about the truth and telling the truth. In verse 34 of chapter 5 of Matthew, this is what it says. If you want to look it up, that'd be great. He says, but I tell you, don't take an oath at all, either by heaven, because it is God's throne, or by the earth, because it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, because it is the city of the great king. Do not swear by your head, because you cannot make a single hair white or black. But let your yes mean yes, and your no mean no. Anything more than this is from the evil one. Wow, that's pretty strong language. And my dad was a big believer in this scripture. That's why maybe it's on my mind. And my mom was too, in a different way. So my dad explained to me many times that as a Christian, what I say is really important, that I shouldn't make promises I cannot keep. I shouldn't tell someone I will do something if I'm not going to do it. And Dad always brought it down to this: let your yea be yea, or your nay be nay. Let your yes be yes, let your no be no. And that's it. And as you see in the scripture, Jesus points out things people were taking. The Jews were taking oaths on various things in their culture. The heaven, swearing by heaven, you hear people still do that. Swearing by earth, and swearing in those days by Jerusalem was a common thing also. And Jesus points out to us that this is futile, this is useless, because we don't have the authority to use those places as a human being to swear by. I'm not the boss of heaven. I'm a participant in heaven. I'll live in heaven. It's the kingdom's coming, and we're going to be rejoicing in it. But it's God's heaven that He's sharing with us. I don't have the authority to use it, and I certainly we don't have holy cities in the United States, so to speak. Jerusalem is a holy city of God, but we shouldn't be swearing by that. We don't have any authority of Jerusalem, for Jerusalem, by Jerusalem. It means nothing to us, and in that way, and not to even swear by our head, because you can't change them to black or white. I don't even have them to change, so it's not a big issue for me. But you cannot make a single hair white or black. And then he says it very simply: let your yes mean yes, and let your no mean no, and that's it. Stop. Now, I hear people all the time swearing. And we're not talking about cussing and swearing. We're talking about oath taking, promise taking, and using things to verify that they're telling the truth. When I was a boy, I don't hear it as much now, but when I was a boy, I remember in the hallways, in the PE, in the locker room, it just seemed like everywhere, guys especially would say to each other, if you said you were going to do something, swear to God, as a question. Do you swear to God? And they're basically, when you do that, you're asking somebody to make an oath to swear by God. And oath taking is something we should really be careful not to do frequently or without thinking something through very carefully. Most of us, the oath that we take in our life is our marriage, our wedding. It's basically an oath, a promise to God to live together, to love each other, cherish each other in sickness and in health, till death do us part. So it's supposed to be a permanent thing that we do. And we're making an oath. Now just think of the millions and millions and millions and millions of people, Christians and non-Christians, who have broken that oath, have broken that promise. It's staggering. It's sad. So many just didn't stick with it, just gave up, didn't work through it. I'm not saying that it's easy all the time, and I know there's amazing and terrible situations in life, but it is an oath that people make. When we go to court, we're asked to raise our hand, put the other hand on the Bible, and we take an oath to tell the truth. Now, my dad wouldn't do that. He wouldn't swear to tell the truth. He would say, I affirm, because that was the only legal out of swearing. But he would not swear when he testified. Because, again, he took this very seriously, what Jesus was saying, that we don't have really room in our life to be using God's name. And that's what we're doing. When we swear by something, and what do people say? Swear to God, swear by your mother's grave, all kinds of things people say. Well, you are bringing into your promise something that you do not have authority to do. You have no power through your mother's grave, and you shouldn't be trying to verify, strengthen your promise by putting God as your partner in the promise. Because if you do break it, wow, that's serious. You have pledged that God was going to be your co-signer in your promise. Really? You can do that? You're so sure that whatever you're promising to do is going to come to fruition, that nothing will change or stop it? You sure? And because of all these things, and I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me, but because of this, Jesus said, simplify it. Jesus said, don't involve other people, places, God. Be so careful about doing that. You don't know what you're doing. And he said it very simply, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And keep it that simple. If you are a Christian, going all the way back to the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not lie. Well, the positive is thou shalt tell the truth. As a Christian, we should tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and stop there. Don't even say, so help me God. Just be that person with integrity that God has called you to be. Let that be part of your heart, your changed, new creature heart, a truth teller. Let people know that when you say something, you mean it. And when you say no, you mean that. This means a lot in a lot of situations. It means you are a person who does what he or she says you'll do. If you say that you're going to be in such and such a place at such and such a time, be there, or don't ever say you're going to be there. Make sure that you know you can do it. If you say you're going to pay your bill on the first of the month, do it. Make sure you do it. If you say that you will be responsible for doing this activity in the church or whatever it might be, there's of course hundreds of things that could be, but if you've said I'll do this, then do it. You know, so many times when we've said we're going to do something and we don't do it, we don't show up, we ruin the activity, or we certainly make it go from going smoothly to everybody scrambling to cover for you. So if there's a reason why you can't do something, make sure you give as much notice as possible. Now, of course, if I say I'll do something on the 30th of the month at 10 a.m. and I come down with, some terrible sickness or something, then I need to, as soon as I know, tell somebody, I know I said I was going to do this, but because I'm so sick or I'm contagious, I'm not going to be able to do it. And that is how we live our life, as to the most possible extent. If we say we're going to do something, that's it. That's our bond. That's our word. I'll do it because that's who I am, a person of integrity. And I won't do it later. I'll do it when I said I will do it. When you speak to people, they're expected to hear the truth from you. And they're expected to be able to rely on you as a Christian, that you're going to do what you're going to do. So we don't want to be people who are not trustworthy. We want people to say, if Charlie said he's going to be there, Charlie's going to be there, because Charlie doesn't lie. And that's the kind of person we need to be. People that, really would change the culture. You know how Christians were persecuted in the first century. As time went on, the years passed by, and people saw these Christians are good people. They tell the truth. They do what they say they're going to do. They're compassionate. They're feeding the poor. They're helping people with their problems and their situations. These Christians are so bad. What are they saying? You have a good testimony. And as time went on, they were not looked as such horrible people, but they were good people in the community that that helped the culture, made it better. It took a while for people to come to that belief, but it did happen. And it needs to happen now, today, that we are tellers of the truth. And we don't need to swear by anything. We don't have to look to or fro for anything else. We are just going to be truth tellers. And Jesus said, leave it at that. Leave it at that. Do what you said you're going to do. And that's important. Now, my mom, I mentioned her, she had a little bit different way. It was really weird to me as a kid. I didn't really understand what she was doing. But whenever I was trying to tell her I was going to do something, and I'd say, I promise, Mom, I promise. And she'd always say, what do you promise? And I thought, you don't understand what a promise is? But I didn't get it. I said it my whole life, what do you promise? Well, I think what she was trying to tell me is you don't need to say, I promise, Mom, I promise, Mom, I promise. She probably heard that many times and it didn't come true. She's saying, be a person of integrity, and if you say I'm going to clean my room, which I didn't, then do it. You don't have to say anything else. If you think of how this would change the world, just one little thing, if people told the truth, we would not have corrupt business people or politicians. People would tell the truth, and whatever they said, that would be it. Wouldn't people trying to twist their words or be clever and get out of a situation and later say, well, I didn't really say that, and check the transcript. That's where we live today. That's how it is. Jesus said, it's simple. It's simple. Let your yes be yes. Let your no be no. And we bring that into the church, and we have a peace and a trust in our leadership and each other that people are telling the truth, and we can be sure of that. That person has a reputation as a person who honors God by telling the truth and doing what he or she has said they will do. So Jesus said you can't change yourself physically by changing how much hair you have or the color of it, or I guess he didn't mean dyeing your hair, but you cannot change nature by your words, and you should not swear by those things either. Now Jesus ends this kind of strongly because he says, anything more than this is from the evil one. Whoa. The evil one, Satan? Yeah, when you start playing with all your words and bringing God into your promises and this into your promises and everything, this is something the evil one enjoys. Go ahead, ruin your reputation. Go ahead and bring God into this. And when you fail, what does your God look like? You have diminished his power in your life by saying he was your partner in this promise, and then you didn't keep this promise. The world sees that, and Satan's happy. Satan loves when you lie, and you might say, well, I'm not lying. Yeah, you are. You say you're going to do something, you don't do it, that's a lie. So one thing is, we should not say we're going to do so many things if we don't think we can do it. It's okay to say no. So if somebody asks you to do something and you do not feel you can complete that in the time frame, or that you don't have the ability, the talent, the gift, the knowledge to do it, don't say you'll do it. Say, no, I'm sorry, it's not something I can do. I hope you find someone else. That's telling the truth. Don't imagine yourself being able to do things you don't know how to do. tell the truth. So let's be truth tellers. Let's stop swearing by God's name or anything else. We don't have to swear by the heavens or the earth or anything else. We just have to stand on the promises of God, but not his name. Stand on the promises we've made. Let your reputation be that of someone who is trustable, trustworthy, one who does what he says he'll do when he says he'll do it. So important. I've had friends who constantly said they would do something and backed out and didn't show up. You know how aggravating that is? Pretty soon it got to where all that person's friends were laughing when they said they'd do something. They just assumed they're really not even going to be there. Then they take on, yeah, I'll do this and that, and they never even came to the event, never showed up to the party. And it was sad. It was a lovely person, but people laughed at that person behind the back. You won't see that person there. They won't be there. How sad. How sad to have a reputation for never doing what you say you're going to do. A lot of people just, something more fun is happening. I'm going to do that. I always tell my people, my friends and stuff, honor the first one you said you'd do it to. If you said you're going to be here and then, everybody's going to go see this movie and all my friends are going to be there, you're not going. You said you'd be somewhere else. So either your friends can change the time if they want you there that much, or you don't go and you do what you said you would do in the first place. That's really important. There's so many people that change because something more fun came along. I see that all the time. Not a good excuse. We promised. We said we'd do something. Let your yea be yea, let your nay be nay. Yes, yes, no, no. That's what Jesus said. Anything else other than that is from the evil one. We don't want to be there. I hope this will encourage you. It can change your life. Just one little thing can make such a difference as people come to trust you and believe in your word. And most importantly, say, wow, Christians tell the truth. Christians say something and they do it. That honors God. That honors Jesus. That's what he was talking about. Yes is yes and no is no, and that's all you need. God bless you. I hope this little devotion might just stir up some thinking in you and might bless you. It's important. We all can use it. So the Lord bless you. Have a wonderful day. And until next time, God bless you.